queens, all along, yeah, queens, all along, ooh, queens, all along, powerful queens, all along, queens, ooh, queens, powerful queens. Hey everyone, my name is Latavia.
And my name's Nikki.
And welcome to Queens on the Road podcast.
And welcome to our first episode!
So before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to our listeners for already downloading, sharing, and subscribing. Because without y'all, none of this would be possible. So please continue to share and run it up.
Tay, I'm so excited to be here today, to be on this journey with you. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, Nick. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you too. We've known each other for 28 years.
Can you believe it? 28
No,
years?
I cannot.
Where has the time gone?
I don't know. I definitely don't know. So since this is our first ever episode, we wanted to share a little bit about ourselves. I am 29 years old. I live in Yonkers, New York, and I've been working as a speech-language pathologist for 6 years. I graduated from Columbia University with my master's degree in communication sciences and disorders. So what about you, Nick?
What about me? Okay, so I'm from New York City, originally from the Bronx. I'm a health educator. I graduated from the University of Vermont in 2014 with my bachelor's in English, and I graduated from the University of Tennessee in 2017 with a master's in public health, community health education. I am currently a public health educator based in New York City.
That is so great, girl. We are out here doing our thing.
We sure are. So as we alluded to earlier, Tay and I have been friends for 28 years. We met when we were just babies at United Cerebral Palsy. Both Tay and I have a superpower called Cerebral Palsy.
And I have cerebral palsy spastic quadriplegia.
I have Cerebral Palsy spastic diplegia.
So, in this episode, we're going to talk about what CP is. So let's roll.
Cerebral palsy, or CP, is a neurological disorder where a part of the brain called the cerebrum is damaged. The cerebrum controls vision, motor skills, cognitive abilities, perception, and hearing through 4 lobes. I'm going to let my girl talk a little bit more about those lobes.
Alright, Nikki, I got you covered. So, the lobes are the temporal, parietal, occipital, and frontal lobes. The occipital lobe is responsible for our vision. The temporal lobe is responsible for encoding memory and patterns in sensory data. The frontal lobe is responsible for executive functioning skills, such as cognitive abilities. And the parietal lobe is responsible for sensory and processing that sensory information. Any damage to one or all of these lobes can cause cerebral palsy.
Well, science.
Yeah, I know that was a lot of science, guys, but that just basically means that cerebral palsy impairs our movements and makes it difficult for us to get around. So, Nick, what causes CP?
Cerebral palsy is caused by a lack of oxygen to the brain that can occur at birth or while the child is still in the womb. Cerebral palsy usually occurs in premature babies and has many different degrees of severities, from mild to severe. Fun fact time, y'all! So CP is the most common motor and movement disability. So Tay, I know there are different types of CP. Like I have spastic diplegia, you have spastic quad. Can you tell us more about the types?
Definitely can. So there's spastic, where all of our muscles are tight, and then there's atoid or floppy CP, where there's an inability to control the muscles of the body, and the movements are floppy and sudden. And then there's ataxic, which affects balance and coordination. Then there's mixed CP, which is a combination of one or two types of cerebral palsy. Then within those subdifferences, it can affect different parts of the body. So there's diplegia, where only your lower extremities are affected, which you have, Nick.
I sure do. That's my jam.
Hemiplegia, where only one side of your body is affected. Then there's quadriplegia, where your whole body is affected, which I have. And there is also two rare types. Monoplegia, where only one limb, such as your arm or leg on one side of the body, is affected. And then there's double hemiplegia, which affects the whole body, but mostly your arms are affected. Each type corresponds with a form, and a person can have more than one type of cerebral palsy.
Thanks, Tay.
You're so welcome. And all of this information is courtesy of the United Cerebral Palsy Foundation and a book called Children with Cerebral Palsy, A Parent's Guide.
So, we'd like to share a quote with you all, and it reads, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is courage to continue that counts." We believe that this quote encompasses this episode, persons with disabilities, and ourselves, because despite whatever obstacles and challenges we may face, we still work and go to school and are productive members of society.
Definitely, Nick, and that's what I want this podcast to do. I want this podcast to change people's minds about people within the ably different community. So we are not seen as a liability, but a profitability. I know that's not a word, y'all, but we're making up our own vocabulary over here, okay?
Yes, we are, okay?
That was a great Cardi B impression, Nick. I'm liking that.
That's all we have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for spending time with us and listening. If you haven't already, subscribe to our
YouTube channel, our Buzzsprout page, our Instagram, our Facebook. Tell your friends to tell their friends. Tell your mama, your sister, your brother, everybody you could possibly think. Yup, everybody you could possibly think of. Let's run this up, guys.
Yes, run it up. And if anybody listening has cerebral palsy or knows someone, like a friend or family member who has cerebral palsy, leave a comment down below. Let us know who you are. Tell us your story. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening.
And we're rolling out.
Peace.